There's been social media posts going around for many years now, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, saying that welders, if they're really good, they can weld right over a prior weld, not clean the slag off, not brush, etc., etc., and it goes on. And I'm going to read from D1.1 codebook that you cannot do that. No matter how good you are, you just can't do that. So let's get to it. Alright, so for weld cleaning, I've seen videos and posts for years and years. I've even had instructors say that they can weld over their prior weld, even if the slag's still there, and it'll be perfectly fine. They're just so good this, they're so good that. There's internet armchair welders saying they're so good this, and it just goes on and on. It never ends. But if you're a certified and licensed welder, you cannot do that. No matter how good you may think you are, legally you cannot do that. You do, you can get fired. So if you do, you get fired. I really don't care. It's in the code book. You have to know that. This is basic stuff. It's right here in the code book, right near from our other video that we're reading. So if you have your D1.1 code book, you can go to 5.3. It is weld cleaning. So I do recommend you look it up. Even if it's online somewhere, just look it up so y'all can see it. I'm not making this up. I do have my code book. I reference it for all this stuff, so that way if someone comes back and we say, hey, no, I do it this way. Well, you may do it that way, but legally you're not supposed to. The code book says otherwise. So let's get to it. 5.3 weld cleaning. 5.30.1 in-process cleaning. Before welding over previously deposited metal, all slag shall be removed and the weld and adjacent base metal shall be cleaned by brushing or other suitable means. This requirement shall apply not only to successive layers, but also to successive beads and to the crater area when welding is resumed after any interruption. It shall not, however, restrict the welding of plug and slot welds in conformance with 5.25. We're going to continue on to 5.30.2, cleaning of completed welds. Slag shall be removed from all completed welds and the weld and adjacent base metal shall be cleaned by brushing or other suitable means. Tightly adherent spatter remaining after the cleaning operation is acceptable, unless its removal is required for the purpose of NDT, vocab word. Welded joints shall be painted or shall not be painted until after welding has been completed and the weld has been accepted by, as when they mean accepted by either weld inspector, or if it's not going to be inspected by you. You have to do your own inspections as well. Not obviously testing. NDT, vocab word, that's non-destructive testing. You should know that. We're going to get into destructive and non-destructive testing in other videos. But the code book says it right there. You're not supposed to just weld right over it. You're even supposed to brush legally. And so I brush every time. And some folks say, well, that takes time this, it takes so long that. We're welders, we get paid by the hour. Most of us do. So if you take an extra minute to clean a whole bunch of welds throughout an hour, or if an entire day you took an extra 5 minutes to clean, you get a little overtime. And push things back a little bit. Obviously, you don't just clean out with a toothpick every single time. But, you know, if there's just a little bit of dust on there, you clean it. If you don't see anything, clean it. You're paid by the hour. It's no big deal, and you're following the book. Foreman can't legally say anything against that because you're doing everything legally by the code book. Again, you're supposed to do it. If you don't and you screw up and you get fired, it's nobody's fault but your own. I see it all the time on the internet, and it's quite unfortunate because all the new welders think, oh, I can do that too. I can be fantastic. I can do this. I can do that. And once you do non-destructive or destructive testing and you can look inside what that weld actually looks like, it ain't pretty. It's really not. You can have a nice weld on top. Slag inclusion's terrible in there. And okay, so you can cut one piece and it looks great. Half an inch either direction, it's going to be awful. So make sure to clean your welds. I've gotten remarks from other people, I don't have to clean my welds, It goes on and on. You got to do it. I don't care who you are. You could be the best welder in the world. Clean your welds. It's in the code book. Just do it. That's what you got to do. So we're going to have more stuff coming from the code book. I try and follow it the best I can in every way possible. If I ever get on a job site and someone says, hey, you're not following the code book, I'll pull it out. And if I'm not, well, then I'll go buy it. But you're supposed to have pretty much everything memorized. There's very few things that you shouldn't be sure about unless it's going off of different heats, different things like that, or something if you don't ever do plug welds, slot welds, stuff like that, and then you have to reference it. That's perfectly fine. That's what the code book's for. That's part of the licensing exam is open book. Not just to find answers, it's to how to navigate the book. That's part of the exam. You have to navigate it because you can be doing just regular straight beads for years, and if you have to do plug welds or slot welds, you got to look it up in the code book on what you need to do, preparation, how much heat, what you can do with it. You got to look it up in the book. So we're going to be getting more into that. Hope you're all enjoying, and I'll see y'all in the next videos.